Hello, good morning everybody. Today is August 24th, which means that summer is coming to an end and back to school and fall is right around the corner. I know for some of you that's probably music to your ears that back to school is right around the corner, but yeah, I mean it's definitely starting to feel like fall out there, getting a little bit cooler. It's a little gloomy today, so yeah, we're almost almost out of summer, which I don't know about you guys, but it's pretty crazy. I was saying the other day, it feels like the fastest summer of my life. It's gone by so incredibly quick, and but hey, I guess that's what happens when you stay busy, right? So okay, so I'm going to jump in here now. I want to go over with you guys a market insight report to let you guys know what happened in the month of July for the region of Durham, for the residential real estate market for Durham region. So I'm just going to pull up my highlighter here and going to try to make this video as we'll go with yellow today. Yellow is the color of the day. Okay, I'll try to make this video as precise, short as I possibly can. I know everybody's busy and not everybody has 10, 12, 15 minutes to invest into watching this video. So I'll try to just get to the point and get that information for you guys. Okay, so I want to really go over what the average price is right now for the property types in the region of Durham. I want to go over what the transaction volume is looking like. Are properties selling at asking price? Are they selling below or even above? What's the average days on market looking like? Are properties going quick? Are they taking a little bit longer to sell on a month-over-month basis or a year-over-year basis? And what's the overall, listing volume activity like? Are more properties coming to the market or less properties coming to the market, right? So we'll go over all of this, and then I know there's quite a bit of economic noise out there right now. So I'll touch a little bit about, inflation and those numbers as well, and how that may impact the overall real estate market that we experience here at home. Okay. So I'm just going to pull up that highlighter again. So the average price, just going to run through this with you quickly. Okay. So the average price for the month of July was about $837,000. Just over $837,000, whereas the month before was $854,000, down about 2%. Okay, so very small marginal drop there. I should preface by saying that this includes all different property types in the Durham region, and includes all different beds, bathroom combinations, and as I mentioned, is for the month of July. Okay, God, that's a messy line. Look at that thing. Oh, it's gone. So yeah, it includes condos, apartments, townhomes, detached links, farms, land, everything that's not commercial. Okay, and encompasses every different city within the Durham region, beds, bathroom combinations, like I mentioned. So we're down about 2% on the average price on a month-over-month basis, and we're down actually about 5% on a year-over-year basis. So quite a drop there from $881,000 in July of 2025. To about $838,000 for the month of July in 2026, and down about 6% year to date. Okay. Transaction volume. It's so if the average price is dropping and the transaction volume is dropping, that signals that it's a weaker market. Okay. If we saw average price dropping, but we saw transaction volume high, that's what that means to me is that buyers are still out there, they're still active, sellers are still transacting. It still remains a healthy market. Now, don't get me wrong. I mean, 742 units for 1 month is really not that bad. Like, it's not super, super low. I've seen lower for sure. But if you look at it on a month-over-month basis, we're down about 12.5%. 12.5%. That's quite large. Whereas in June it was 848 units. Now we're at 742. If we look at July of 2025, it was 840 units. So we're down about 12% year over year. And then year to date, we're at just call it 4,700 units that have transacted in 2026. Whereas in 2025, that was 5,100 units. Okay, so we're down about 8%. And I'm just going to stop for a sec. If you can hear commotion in the back, that's probably my kids just running around downstairs. So sorry for that interference there in the background. It's hard to silence them sometimes. Okay, so anyway, moving on. Where were we? Okay, so new listings volume. Something else I'd like to keep an eye on and take a look at. So the number of new listings that came to market in July alone was 1,789. Down about 16% from the month prior, down about 16% from June, where we saw 2,100 units come to market. And then if we look at this on a year-over-year basis, we're down 16%. Okay, so average price is down. Transaction volume is down. Number of properties selling, down. Number of new properties coming to the market, down. So, it's even though, okay, and then let's just look at this and then I'll touch on what I'm trying to, I'll get to what I'm trying to speak about there. So, year to date, 12,000 units have come to market, and then this is down about 14% from the year prior. Okay. So even though prices are down, even though transaction volume is down, new listings coming to the market is down, what I would say is there's still a lot of opportunities out there for buyers. Okay. Yes, it's nice that the prices are coming down. You may not have the most amount of selection that you had in previous months or previous, years, but prices have come down and interest rates have normalized, right? So there's good opportunities out there for buyers right now. Sellers, we're definitely not seeing those COVID prices or those record high prices that we saw in previous years. But, if you're selling and buying and transacting within the same market, it's all relative, right? Like if your property has gone down, the value of your property has gone down, the property that you're wanting to purchase has also gone down, right? So we're in more of a balanced market right now as a whole, which is my favorite market to work and transact in, because it's just normal, it's healthy, right? So even though this may seem like doom, all of these metrics that I've gone over, it's really not that bad out there. Properties are still moving. It's still, the average price of a home is still $837,000. Like the market's moving. It's still good. It's just a little bit different from a comparison's sake when you look at it as to what was happening last year. Okay, and then average sale price to list price. Properties are still selling for 99, call it, percent of the list price, which is good. And same month last year was about just over 99%. So not much of a change there. Properties are usually still selling at asking price. And I think that, that I preach this all the time to my seller clients who are thinking about listing their home. And I always just talk about how imperative it is to ensure that you price your property correctly, because if you don't, then your property is going to sit on the market, which, will be in excess of the average days of market, which I'll touch on next. And then beyond that, if your property sits and becomes stale, then buyers have more negotiation power. And at the same time, buyers start to assume that, what's wrong with the property? Why is it not selling? So they start to question, and it's just overall not a good situation. So price your property correctly and give it the best presentation possible so it stands out in today's marketplace. Okay, and then the average days of market. So let's look at that. So in July, on average, it took a property 29 days to sell. Okay, and in June it was 26 days. Year over year, 26 days. Not really much movement here at all. Really what this is saying is that if you're preparing to list your house, on average, it's taking about 3 weeks to a month for a property to sell. Okay. Again, the power of pricing and presentation. You want to do everything you possibly can right now if you're a seller. Sorry, one sec. If you're a seller, you want to do everything you possibly can right now to ensure that your property stands out amongst the competition. You need to know what the competition's doing. You need to know what they're priced at. And that way you can price it more strategically, more in line with what's going on out there. We have to be realistic. And at the same time, we want to ensure that our presentation, including, the staging, the designing, the cleaning, the photography, videography, everything is on point to make your property stand out instead of the competition. Okay, so that's it for the statistics. I said I wouldn't be over 10 minutes, but here we are, 10 and a half minutes. Okay, I'll wrap this up shortly. So what I would say is overall the market's good. It's moving, it's healthy. And if you are interested to know what, I've had a couple people recently want me to dissect this further for the condo market, to let you know what's happening out there, or detached properties, maybe a certain number of bedrooms, or even if you want a specific city within Durham or even Northumberland, Courtice Lakes, anything like that, I can definitely dive into it and give you some more accurate numbers based on what you're looking for or what you're dealing with in your current property. So let me know if that's something that you're interested in. And just to cap this video off, just reading something this morning, so I'm going to read that out to you now. So just a little bit of a market update. So Canada's inflation ticked up to 3% in July. So it was 2.8% in the month prior. They believe it's mainly gas driven and underlying inflation is contained, which is good. I'm not even going to go into the tariff situation because that is ever changing on a day-to-day basis right now. Hopefully they can work something out there. But and then on the mortgage front, okay, so this is important to us real estate people and us real estate buyers and sellers. So fixed rates are creeping up as bond yields hit a 2-year high on trade jitters. Of course, economics coming into play in the micro markets. While variable rates are holding steadier for now, since the Bank of Canada hasn't moved, but variable could rise if a hike comes. Okay, so bottom line, borrowing costs likely stay firm to higher short term, and fixed may keep climbing faster than variable. So if you're thinking about buying a home in the next little while, or thinking about making a move, and a mortgage approval or mortgage pre-approval is on your agenda and is something that you have to do, it's never a bad idea to have these conversations with a mortgage professional now. The good thing is, let's say you are planning to purchase a house in the fall market, which is quickly approaching. You can get all of your documentation prepared, but the real true gem of doing it is that you can lock in a rate. Okay, and that rate is generally good for about 120 days, depending on the lender and institution. But that rate is good for 120 days. So let's say you lock it in and a hike does come, or we see fixed rates go up or variable rates go up. What you're essentially doing by locking in a rate now is you're hedging your bet. So if you lock in at 4.25, let's say, and rates all of a sudden go up to 4.5, as long as you close on your purchase prior to that rate expiration, then you are granted that rate that you locked in. So if you want me to elaborate on that further, or if you have questions about that at all, let me know. Thank you for tuning in and watching this 14-minute video and change. Like I said, I know it's difficult sometimes to tune in, but thank you if you've watched this far. I really appreciate it. If you have any further questions about the real estate market or you need some assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. I'm always happy to help. Enjoy the rest of summer, everybody, for what we have left. Have a fantastic fall, and I look forward to reporting in next month and letting you know what's happening out there. All right. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.